Hey everybody, this is Brett, and tonight I would like to tell you 10 signs that show that you are becoming a more conscious individual in your life. And, it's taken me many years of hard work to get to where I'm at now, and I'll just continue to progress. And the more I change my lifestyle, the more I get my air, food, and water cleaner, the more I do this and the more I do that, the more I can work on all the different aspects of my life and continue to improve. And, where I was before, I'd found that I'd reached a dead end because I hadn't done that. But in any case, number one, you shop at a health food store. And, I do that predominantly and have been for the whole journey. Almost 25 years, I believe. And I realized in the very beginning that the health food store had my health in mind much more than the regular grocery store. And all of that junk food from Kellogg's and blah blah blah, Nabisco, that wasn't at the health food store. And all the preservatives, there were still some products at the health food store with some bad ingredients that I didn't want to consume, but a lot less than the regular grocery store. And additionally, the energy at the health food store was so much more natural and mellow and just more personal. And here where I live, my new health food store, it's just the best that I've ever had before. And so I'm really excited. So, yes, I still shop at the regular grocery store sometimes. And the other day I took my bag, my regular grocery, reusable bag to the grocery store. And I put some items in there as I was shopping. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. One of the employees saw me doing that, and as I was checking out, I actually checked out twice. And the first time I checked out, I got the peanut butter. Usually the peanut butter is a lot less expensive at the regular grocery store, so I'll buy that there. Also salmon I can get at the regular grocery store. But I forgot something, and I had to go buy a few more things. And I came back, and as I was checking out, the girl that saw me put my stuff in my bag when I was shopping said, "What about that stuff that's in your bag?" And I said, "I already bought that." And I said, "Ask the checker there. It's the same checker I used before." She was so embarrassed for accusing me of stealing. That would never, ever happen. That's never happened in over 25 years at the regular health food store. In fact, I don't believe it's happened at a regular grocery store either, but in either case, just so much better energy at the health food store. 2, you read labels. Okay, so when I went back to see my mom, I looked in her fridge and it was just still full of junk. And, she doesn't have the consciousness. She doesn't care. A lot of people just don't care to the point of where they'll take 10 seconds to look at the label to see if it's a long label like that and there's words that you can't even pronounce. I don't even bother. I just put it right back on the shelf. I know that it's full of hydrogenated this and processed that and preservative this and that. I don't even bother. So I look at almost every label. Even stuff that looks like it's totally natural, you got to look at the labels because sometimes they'll sneak stuff in there. And if you don't want to consume that, if you don't want to have to bring it back, you better look at the label. And it's a matter of getting into the habit. Okay? Number 3, you reduce your footprint. Okay, so when I took that big old long trip, oh my God, I felt guilty for burning all that gas. For some reason, though, I knew that I needed to go out and do this thing. But in general, I am turning off the lights, I'm using my bags that I use over and over again, even for small items like, excuse me, like I have cloth bags for the bulk items and for all the produce too, all of that. And I don't like to drive, I really don't like to drive that much at all. I'm a homebody, you know. And here it's really cool because at night I only turn the electric heat on in one room. It's electrically heated here. I only have 2 rooms. I close this one down. In the morning it's cold in here. It doesn't get that cold, but it's pretty cold because I don't use any electricity to heat this room. I heat one room and that's it. And I save money, and I know I'm reducing my footprint. And see, when you start to learn about environmental illness, then you learn that the less of the resources that you use, the less you're exposing yourself to toxicity. For instance, if I unplug appliances, then they're not putting out any static electricity into the air at all. The more appliances that are plugged in, the more EMF there is in the air. And that's just one little example. The more you're driving in behind other cars that are putting out chemtrails that are getting into the cab of your car. Additionally, my car, it's got like exhaust leaks, and they're getting into the cab of the car, and so I'm exposing myself constantly when I'm driving. So the less that you're imposing on the resources, the healthier it is. Number 4, you get into nature. I started getting into nature and hiking and mountain biking and stuff like that when I moved back to Utah after I lived in San Diego, which was about, about 6 years after I got, 4, 5, 6 years after I got into health and healing. And when I lived in Utah, one of the coolest things is that you can go hiking on the bench just within a mile or 2 of where you live. And I would take advantage of that every single day, even in the winter. And not everyone, not very many people there, it's funny, not very many people there do that. And it's strange because there it is, these huge mountains right next to all the houses with all these trails all over the bench, they call it, which is the bottom of the mountain where they can't build houses. And you can just go there and hike. And so here I am just about to get really going because we have Mount Pisgah and it's incredible, the Smoky Mountains right here and just awesome trails all over. And so I'm going to get going with that. Okay, so you give to a charity, and for me, I'm very particular about the charities that I give my money to. I don't have that much money, first of all. And so, a lot of the charities are geared towards creating drugs, research on drugs to be able to help with muscular dystrophy or whatever, all kinds of illnesses that they think that they can extract concentrated this and that from the plants, create patents, and then, this is the answer. This is the answer, these patented medicines, conventional medicine. I do not give to any of those freaking people. They are all misguided idiots. And so, I'll give to animal charities, especially the ones that are against experimentation using animals, that are trying to experiment so that they can create drugs and make a lot of money. That's against God. That is totally against God. Those people, they think that they're like good Christians for creating freaking drugs or good whatever. I don't care what spirituality, what religion they are. If they're messing with nature, they're messing with creation, and that's just totally against my spiritual beliefs. And so I don't give any money to those people. And or if they harm animals or kill animals, I just don't groove with it. It's wrong. Okay, so I could get emotional about that really fast. So in any case, I'll give to children's charities, and I will give to animal charities, and I will give to homeless charities, all kinds of charities that I think are worthwhile, and that's important to become a progressive and conscious individual. 6, you eat more alkaline foods. Okay, so I say alkaline not necessarily because everyone is too acidic, but for the most part that's how it is in the world that we live in today. Because people have, for some reason, this desire to, and I don't know exactly why, and it includes myself, to eat meat with every meal. So we have available to us all kinds of everything that we want, you know, and if you've got the money, then you can buy and eat as much bread, processed bread, as many yang foods as you want to consume and get overly acidic. And that's why so many people have this stomach acidity problem, you know, because they eat way too much meat, way too much grain. They eat dairy, which is not even a food at all, and they don't eat enough vegetables. When you eat dairy, then you don't have to eat your vegetables because it's got so much calcium in it. Well, that only lasts for so long until your body is completely clogged like a drain, and then it won't flow and function. So eat more and more vegetables, especially when you need to cleanse in the beginning like I did, and I still eat quite a bit of fruit, you know. It really cleanses all that out. It's full of a lot of water. Okay, so nuts and seeds for the most part are acid forming, especially nuts. But vegetables. Okay, so 7, you think more naturally. So I remember a time of when I was just becoming a robotic person when I was in my early 20s, you know. We were getting into all the video games and this and that, you know, and we didn't eat naturally, we didn't live naturally, we lived off television, and everything around us in our house, my house, was all synthetic, and things were getting less and less wood and less natural materials. The clothing, everything was becoming freaking fake, synthetic, made out of petroleum products. And that all affects your mind too. You know, if you're not doing natural activities, if you're not living amongst natural things, then you get to become a plastic person. I hope not too many people would take offense to this, but I've always said, like, for a long time anyway, California is the plastic world. You know, and I needed to move back to a place that was like Andy Griffith. So now I'm in North Carolina. And the people on the Andy Griffith show, they were just as natural as could be, you know. And honest and down home. It's reminiscent of the Beverly Hillbillies, that they were just all as pure and natural as they could be, and then they moved to Beverly Hills in this synthetic world. So, 8, you think on your own. Like, I think this is just kind of how it's always been. But most people are followers, and a small percentage of people are leaders. But I don't think that you necessarily have to be self-employed to think on your own. You know, self-employed or like a speaker or something, to actually think on your own. And when I say that, I mean, you don't just believe. Now, you have to kind of go back with me here, and think about how, like, when you were a kid, you were taught everything for the most part by your parents, okay? And you found that, boy, mom and dad were really right about a lot of things. And a lot of people think that everything that their parents taught them is correct. And they adhere to all kinds of things, like whether they're a Democrat or Republican, most people are what their parents were. And I think that a whole lot of people need to reiterate that, rethink that, and just consider the truth about the way things are instead of just believing what your minister or your parents or your some other person that you really, really like. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to like them anymore. I'm just saying that I think that people should think on their own and really consider this and that and the pros and cons and make a decision on their own, from their own mind, their own heart, their own gut, and become their own person instead of what somebody else ingrained in them. Number 9, you are open-minded, and that goes right along with the last one, because you learned that not everything that whoever they were that raised you, may have been your grandma, not everything that they taught you was correct, or maybe it changed. Maybe it used to be correct, but now it's not so correct because things have changed. And so, now you understand that things change, and so you are open-minded. You are more open-minded. Hang on a second. Hey, D. Hey, brother, I can't talk right now, man. I'm making a video. You want to say hi? You want to say hi to everybody? Okay. Say hi to everybody, D.
Happy holidays. Peace on earth.
I'll call you back in a minute, man. All right, bye. Okay, so now that you've realized that things change and that there are different opinions and that you might not necessarily be correct, they weren't correct, you are more open-minded and able to consider other opinions, other spiritualities, other political affiliates, And so then you're able to really move forward because something that you were stuck on before, because you were stuck, you're not stuck on anymore. Number 10, you begin to understand energy. Okay, so energy is like a very difficult thing to describe in a few words, but you might see a particular energy in someone's face, in their expression. Something like that. You might feel a good or bad energy in a place that you're at, whether it be a gathering of people or out in the woods or in a store, whatever. You may feel an energy that you really like. Oh, it feels good in here. It looks good. It sounds good. The temperature's good. It smells good. All these energies, and you can just use that general description. It's energetically sweet, or, oh my God, did you fart? But there is other energetic qualities than just the senses that people are becoming more and more aware of. And they will see coincidences, okay? They will have coincidences happen in their lives. And they'll start to put 2 and 2 together with things that have happened in the past, the recent past, and things that may be going to happen in the future, and they'll be able to figure things out because they're very sensitive to energy. And so it's a development, it's a continual and wonderful and exciting development to be able to become energetically conscious. And that might be the most important one. of the 10. They weren't in any kind of an order, but that one did end up being number 10. So thanks for joining me. I hope everybody is doing as well as I am, in a place where, once again, I have clean air with no cars outside. I don't hear any cars, nothing. And I always lived on busy streets because I could never afford anything else. Apartments on a busy road that were less expensive or whatever. Clean food, and I generally have had clean food for a long time. Clean water from a well. And it tastes really great. I even filter it, just in case. Thanks for joining me.